Yeah. So, okay. So what was the moment when you were like, all right, I'm going to get into business myself. I'm going to start this thing, high caliber. Where did the name come from? What were you doing before? And why was that moment in time important for you?
So I was in the Marine Corps straight out of high school. Did my time there and was in infantry. So you're kind of limited on what you can do when you get out. They tell you could be a cop, you can be like go back overseas as a private contractor or something like that. But you're only really taught a particular set of skills.
So 4 years in now, 2.5 million revenue goal. What do you attribute that growth to? I mean, that's really fast growth. Is it just because you're a great sales guy, or you were able to find really good people to work for you, and you just had other contracts you could tap into? Like,
Yeah, so there was the best learner is failure. So I failed a lot at the beginning, tried to grow too fast. There's a lot of things that went wrong, just didn't have the right systems and processes in place. It was kind of just doing it all on my own. I read books, obviously, a lot here that's helped me start, but you're never going to learn everything in business.
all right, welcome to another edition of the Superpro podcast. I'm Roland Ligtenberg, the co-founder of Housecall Pro. Since 2013, we've been on the mission to champion the trades and champion our pros because the work you all do keeps our homes safe, comfortable, and communities running. Through Housecall Pro, I've had the privilege of supporting hundreds of thousands of pros just like you listening, empowering you all to achieve more, stress less, and redefine success in our industry. I'm really excited today because we've got Robert Bednarz. He's the CEO and founder of High Caliber Electric. They're based out of Chicago, actually the north suburbs, north shore of Chicago there. They're on track to hit 2.5 million in revenue this year with 12 employees, 4 vans on the roads. And Robert, welcome to the show. You've got a real fun story to tell.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Roland. I'm excited to get started here and share the story.
Yeah. So, okay. So what was the moment when you were like, all right, I'm going to get into business myself. I'm going to start this thing, high caliber. Where did the name come from? What were you doing before? And why was that moment in time important for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was in the Marine Corps straight out of high school. Did my time there and was in infantry. So you're kind of limited on what you can do when you get out. They tell you could be a cop, you can be like go back overseas as a private contractor or something like that. But you're only really taught a particular set of skills. But what I really learned is that you can use your leadership skills that we learned there and how to apply those into the civilian world. And I kind of just fell back on my background of my dad was a general contractor. So all my uncles are in the trade. So I've always been on the tools since I was a kid, tinkering with stuff, helping my dad in the summers, and just really got addicted to electrical because I really liked it. Just my uncle was an electrician, and my dad always told me, he's like, you don't want to be playing in crap or being a plumber. So a little bit more clean of a job, and you get to use your brain a little bit. So when I got out of Marine Corps, I dabbled around just doing odds and ends jobs and kind of just was lost for a little bit because, that's all I knew was military life, and you wake up, get told what to do. And you just follow orders. And when you get out, you're like, oh crap, I got to kind of create something for myself here. So I started the first job I got electrical was, just working with the guy, kind of learning the trade, residential, commercial.
Did you go to a trade school, or did you just already kind of have that knowledge?
No, I never went to a trade school. I just jumped right into apprenticeships and working for people. So I knew a lot. Which, it seems
it's from your background.
Yeah, I knew more than some of the electricians that I worked in some of these other companies with. So started working, and then what I really got good at was sales. So I started working for ABC, which is one of the bigger companies here in Chicagoland area. And just they identified that I'm pretty charismatic, can talk to customers, know how to strike up a conversation and, just create that aura with the customer and rapport. So I got really good at sales. I sold over $1 million in 1 year. So pretty much they took me out of the field installing, kind of was straight sales. And with a big company like that, there's a lot of bureaucracy and, corporate stuff. So there's a lot of things I didn't like about the company. I did like the sales portion. I love sales and just being an electrician and doing that part of the job. But there was other things that I didn't agree with, and it kind of seemed like your voice wasn't heard. Just you go to your manager and he's like, yeah, I'll bring it up to the VP of that division. They had multiple divisions. They had plumbing, HVAC. So it seems like nothing, you can't really get much change.
Yeah.
Things that I didn't agree with. So I was like, COVID hit and that kind of helped. And I had a little bit of free time because it was kind of a weird transition.
Yeah, it's a weird time for everybody.
Yeah, it was a weird transition there. So people were worried with mask, and there was a lot of time at home. And I'm the type of guy to not sit around. I was just was like, you know what, this is a perfect time for me to start an LLC. And I started getting the brand right, looking up, starting a website, starting a Facebook page, just everything that you need to start, and had that kind of in the background. Kept working at ABC there as a W-2 employee. But I always had that background. And then it came to a point where I just kind of was ready to go full in, because I had some good mentors and stuff that ran companies and did the same thing. And they were like, you got to go full in. You got to go all in. There's no like, this is a hobby or anything. You just got to commit. So
what was the year you went all in?
2021.
2021.
Yeah.
2021.
Yeah.
So 4 years in now, 2.5 million revenue goal. What do you attribute that growth to? I mean, that's really fast growth. Is it just because you're a great sales guy, or you were able to find really good people to work for you and you just had other contracts you could tap into? Like, how'd you do that?
So the best learner is failure. So I failed a lot at the beginning, tried to grow too fast. There's a lot of things that went wrong, just didn't have the right systems and processes in place. It was kind of just doing it all on my own. I read books, obviously, a lot here that's helped me start, but you're never going to learn everything in business. You got to go out and do it and fail, which hopefully you don't fail, but I think it's kind of inevitable that you're going to have some failures. It's going to teach you some lessons, especially when you lose money. That's a real good lesson.
It's a good learning lesson. Oh, yeah, for sure. You never want to do that again.
Yeah, exactly. But one thing that really helped me, to go back to your question, was finding a right mentor and finding someone that can really help me, that's been there, done.
How did you find a mentor? A lot of people say, find a mentor. Like, do you just go, hey man, do you want to be my mentor? Or is it a little less like, not as cringe as that?
You got to be ready to pay. I mean, you got to pay for people's time. People that are at that level, you got to be like, hey, I'll give you $1,000, give me an hour of your time. And, you just got to make it worth their while. And then if they see something in you, usually they will help you, because people that are at that level, they want to give back. And it just seems like all entrepreneurs, when you get to a certain level, you want to give back and help other people. Just do what you do.
I love that golden nugget, because I totally agree. Once you get to a certain level, you've achieved everything that you could want. And really the only thing left that you can do is just help others. So I think a lot of people are probably maybe a little too fearful of asking someone that's like really made it for their time, because the reality is like, you're able to make it worth their while. And if you actively listen and not do what they say, but implement or think about the things that they tell you, if they see you like absorbing it, they're going to want to tell you more. Like, helping people's a lot of fun. Yeah.
That's exactly it. And then there's a lot of phonies out there. So Instagram and stuff, everyone wants to be a coach now or a mentor. They haven't even done it themselves. So, if they had all the secrets, and it's just, you got to weed out the fakes. And
how do you weed them out? Let's say someone's looking to get into it. Like, what are your tips, Robert? How do you know if someone's for legit, for reals, or no?
I just have pretty good intuition. So, I mean, I can tell when someone's bull crapping, especially when you're in the trades, you know your trade well. Like, this guy's bull crap. Or he's like, oh, wow, this guy's actually, like, you can just tell if you're a bright, common sense kind of person. You can see pretty quickly if they're the real deal or if they're, bullshitting.
Just selling stuff. Yeah, totally. Especially if there's like really high upfront costs and like, then they're trying to like sell you into a multi-year thing. It's like, if someone's really good, they don't have to worry about contracts or any of those things, because they know you're going to keep coming back for the goods, versus someone's like, oh, it's going to be this much. You're going to be locked in for a couple years and blah, 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 blah. Then you're like, hopefully your radar is kind of going off and you're detecting that's a bunch of BS.
Exactly, yeah. And you're like, So I got lucky with some great guys. And that's when I started implementing system and processes, getting the CRM going. I started with Housecall Pro at the beginning, which was because I knew, coming from ABC, they were so big, they created their own.
Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine.
But I knew other friends in the industry that's the way to go with the technology, and there were still people.
Yeah.
There's still people today on pen and paper, but I knew that wasn't me. I don't like having clutter, and I'm kind of a technology nerd. So I love technology. And
how would you rate yourself? How would you rate yourself on the spectrum? Like 0 being like my in-laws who I need to turn their TV on because they're like, why is the screen black? To like 10 being like super nerd, I should be working for Microsoft, in the engineering department in Washington, kind of a thing.
I'd say probably at that a 7. Yeah, so
a 7. All right, so strong. Okay,
strong. You don't even have to code anymore. You can kind of
you just talk.
But yeah, a 7. I'm pretty techy, and I'm into it. It's a passion of mine, something I like. So it's more. And
do you? I mean, you knew out of the get go you're going to be using some software. There was no question about pen and paper. You already kind of heard in the industry and like talked to people. You start with Housecall Pro. At a certain point, you started growing. You've got your systems and processes. You move away. Like, what was that point like? And why did you think you needed to like move away to like another vendor to kind of handle that side of the business? And walk me through kind of like that thought process.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you grow, you're always, as an entrepreneur, you're always trying to improve and do better. And it's just like your brain, I don't know. Well, I feel like it's most entrepreneurs or business owners. Your brain's always going crazy and you're always like, oh, I can do this or I can do that. Like me, it's like I have to slow down because I think it's better. And then I learned from one of my mentors, he's like, it's good to, you don't put all your eggs in one basket or focus on one thing first and make that good before you start going into other ventures. Cause I was like, oh, I want to open a bar. I want to do this and all types of stuff. And it's just, he's like, no.
Focus, Robert.
So just focus on what you're good at and like your main thing. And, but that kind of got off track there, but to go back to your question is, in the industry, it's like everyone pushes towards service side. It's like when you get to a certain point, you got to go to service side. I'm sure you know. And there really wasn't any real big pain points with Housecall Pro. I don't know why we did it. I think it was just kind of like a thing that we saw where people are pushing it so much. And I was like, oh, let me try this out. And they have good people on their side that push it and sell it. And it's not everything is cut out.
They've got some good influencers. Yeah, they got good influencers for sure. Yeah.
So we had to learn the hard way there, just like I did in the past. And we made the switch and it was horrible. And we were 2 weeks down without a CRM and bringing everything over. And it was just it's not as, the one thing about ServiceTitan is just like, it's not as user friendly. Like you have to really have someone dedicated on your team to kind of operate that system. In my
full
opinion.
Time.
And Housecall Pro, we can do commercial jobs because they're like, when you start with them, they're like, oh, are you a residential, commercial, or industrial? Like with Housecall Pro, I can do it all and not have too much going on. We know how to operate that system to where it's very easy for us to have a contractor and have him all in one place and then have homeowners. But what ServiceTitan it takes a couple days to get back, and they're like, oh, well, you got to do this and you got to do that, and it's just not user friendly at all. So it was, and not to mention extremely expensive. So it's probably like 5 times.
Yeah. I mean, we hear that. Yeah, we hear that a lot, especially on the expensive side. Sorry, go ahead. The value.
Yeah, and we dabbled with Jobber, which is just, I mean, I don't have anything bad to say about them. It's just Housecall Pro is way better, and it's just like I don't know why we even moved away. So evidently,
but it's okay. You're an entrepreneur. It's like flashy object syndrome. You're like, oh, maybe try this, maybe try that. Yeah. But now you know.
We're like, even all the techs and everyone in the office were like, whoa, what the hell? This sucks. Why we move away from Housecall Pro? So we ended up going back and
came back.
Yeah, so we came back and we're not looking away. So we really like it. And I think we can. And I think that there's a misconception thinking that when you get so big, you got to go to a different. I think Housecall Pro can really support you up to a lot, 100 million, whatever. I think whatever it is,
totally,
it really can support us. So it is what it is, and it was a learning lesson. But I think we're here to stay, and we really like the platform and all the. We can get into the features and stuff, but it's just everything you could possibly want is in one spot, which is great.
That it helps a lot. Before we get into Housecall Pro though, like what are some other lessons you learned in business building? Maybe like leadership or hiring or like marketing, like where are these jobs coming from? People are always like, I don't understand how people can grow this fast. I mean, it's a brand new company. Like, how the hell did they do it?
So the first thing you have to have is sales. Without sales, you don't have anything. So you got to be able to sell jobs. And before sales, I think, in my opinion, you got to have a brand or marketing. If people don't know about you, they can't hire you. So that's one thing that I really went all in on was a brand. We wrapped all the trucks. You got to start. I mean, we started with just stickers on the trucks and stuff because, capital.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere. Yeah.
Unless you have like an angel investor or a rich uncle or something that's going to dump a bunch of money into your company. I had to bootstrap it, blood, sweat, and tears, and slowly got into it. But I knew I was looking at all these other brands. Like one of the guys I really look up to is Tommy Mello at A1 Garage Doors. And he has trucks and everything, and just seeing what he does.
Everything, all the brand is good.
Yeah, in his market. So I was like, I really need to do this. So
yeah, he uses this guy. There's a little Tommy Mello guy.
There he is.
He uses the kick card, but
Dan Antonelli.
Dan Antonelli, yeah, that's his new book or whatever.
I listen to him all the time and got some good nuggets from him as well.
Yeah, even if you don't, people are like, everyone says we should use Dan. Like, it's great. They do great work. I highly recommend it. But sometimes it can be really expensive to get started. So just pick up the book and like learn. Like, you can build a really great brand. I mean, your guys' brand is really nice and it's a good name. It's super recognizable. Like, now I'm always going to remember, Hal Caliber, and like, I remember the logo. It's very like catchy. So you can do those things without having to go spend on a big brand company. But he's one of the best. So
no, he definitely is. I mean, the guy is extremely talented, and we kind of went with a different route just because I did it early, and I didn't even know about Dan when I did mine. We got it right. And the main thing was we just pushed it. I pushed it in every avenue there was. Facebook, you got to go out. I mean, I went out to the Chamber of Commerce. I went out to every meeting I can. I went out and shook hands with realtors. I went on BNI. Everywhere I can get my face and get in front of potential customers and try to push my brand, I did it. Because, I mean, you got to get out there, and people think it's easy. It's not. They're not going to come to you. You got to go out there, and you got to make customers.
All right, so you said the word BNI. I feel like half the people are like, complete waste of time. Don't go to Applebee's at 7 a.m. in the morning. And the other half of people are like, oh my God, I get so much work from this thing. It's ridiculous, but you have to know how to work the room. Exactly. Which camp are you in? And like, what are some tips to actually make it worth it?
Yeah. So you got to show up and you got to be productive and you got to if you're just going to sit in there and just hope that it comes to you, no. But if you come in, you're a productive member of the group and you can create those relationships, people are going to remember you. They got to remember you. You got to be out there and have your presentation, tell them about your company, who you are, how you separate yourself from the competition. And when they think about an electrician, they're going to remember you and they're going to recommend you. So that's just how it works no matter what. So it's just who you are and what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. So I think people going to the BNI groups are not putting enough in and they're kind of just blaming it on BNI. I think they need to look in the mirror a little bit and say, I didn't put enough in. So.
Yeah. And I think that holds true for a lot of people. And that's a really good golden nugget that you just shared is like, you can't just expect things to happen to you. You can't just like show up at the Chamber of Commerce and be like, give me jobs, or show up at BNI and be like, give me jobs. It's like, why? So sometimes, start by giving first, put your name out there, be recognizable, be friendly, and say hi to everybody and actually show up and care. And I think if you do that, and a lot of people are like, shy about it or whatever. It's like, this is your business. Like, get out there, go hustle. Like, go shake some hands. It's okay. No one's going to bite you. Like, they're all in the same boat.
Yeah. And the worst thing people can say is no, so it's like they're going back to the mentor thing. You're saying, how do you find a mentor? You just keep asking them. People are going to say no. Don't be like, oh, poor me, ask the next guy, or ask that guy again. If he sees you're persistent, he's going to be like, oh, maybe I should give this guy a shot. So.
I've totally done that before, where entrepreneurs just don't leave me alone after a while. I'm like, all right, you know what? At least they asked me 17 times. I'll give them an hour of my time. Like,
right, exactly.
Because I appreciate the hustle, I appreciate the hustle. Yeah. What about, finding and hiring guys? You got 12 employees, you got 4 vans. Each one's got a journeyman or a master on it with an apprentice. Like, how are you where are you finding people that can represent your brand? They like working for you. Like, how are you doing that?
Absolutely. So what I do is I hire for personality and charisma. I can teach anyone to be an electrician, and I prefer to teach them our ways instead of trying to break old habits. But if you
Hmm.
have good character, and you can't really teach that personality, and I can see that you're just a generally good person. Like I said, I have pretty good intuition. That's what I
Hmm.
like to sit down and ask people what their goals are in life. I don't ask them like, hey, do you know how to wire a switch or whatever? I ask them questions about who they are and how they conduct
Hmm.
themselves as a person and what their character's like. So I ask them
Yeah.
if they're a family person, what their goals are. And the reason why I ask them what their goals are is because I'm here to support them, my employees. So I support my employees. My employees take care of my customers. So if I take care of my employees, they're going to be taking care of our customers ultimately. And if I can help them, like some people have different goals. Some people are financially driven. Some people are family driven. So if an employee tells me like, hey, I want to just take my kids to Disney every year, and it means a lot to me to do that. Say, hey, well, let's work together. You do a good job here, and I'll guarantee you that we get you to Disney with your kids every year. Or some guys like, hey, I want to make a lot of money. I want to be balling. So I'm like, all right, well, I can
To
help
show
you
you
get
how.
there. Yeah, I can help you get there too. So I
Yeah.
just want to support
Yeah.
my employees with whatever they want. And how we find them is, most of the time it's people finding us. So our
Mm-hmm.
brand, yeah, we're in Home Depot, we're in the supply houses a lot. People giving referrals to their friends and family. Like I'd say half of our employees were referrals from each other. Like, hey, I love working here.
Wow.
We got a friend that wants to come and be an electrician. But I get calls all the time that, hey, we saw your truck. We want to come work for you. We heard about your company. I'm like, hey, man, I can't take you right now, but I'm going to take your number down. And
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so,
I mean, great reason to have a good brand. I mean,
yeah,
besides the getting customers aspect, but also just like getting employees and making it a brand that people want to work for, obviously go hand in hand. And,
yeah,
being a good employer and caring about your employees' goals helps your employees refer you as a place to work. Because if they're happy, yeah, they're going to talk to their friends about it because everyone's always, complaining about work and God gave the Mondays. And if someone's like, no, I love where I work and I get to go to Disneyland every year on them. Oh, wait, what? I want to work over there. That sounds great.
yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing is culture. You got to create a culture. And
Hmm.
just you got to care. Like, some people just don't care. I mean, if you don't and you just care about money, whatever. That's how you run your business. I actually care
Hmm.
about my employees, and it means a lot to me that we take care of them. And sometimes people are having a bad day. I'm not going to get out like in the Marine Corps. It's totally different. It's you could get in someone's face and you really light them up. But I try not to
Hmm.
run my business that way because I didn't like that when I was in the Marine Corps. I pull them
Yep.
aside, speak to them like men,
Yep.
and just one-on-one conversations and see what's going on with them. If someone's like showing up late or their work's down, I just ask them, hey, what's going on? Is everything okay at home? What can I do? How can I support you? And it really means a lot to them that you do that, and you're not just like, wow, we need to get this done and we need to make money.
Yeah.
It's just not going to go over well, and it's going to they're going to make them resent you more than want to work with you. So I kind of
That
create
makes that.
culture, and we go out, get drinks together after work. We have barbecues. We got group chats where we send in stupid memes and stuff. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
just
What do you use for your group chat? Do
we
you use
use
like
Slack.
Slack or WhatsApp?
Yeah, we're on Slack, but we also have like a text group chat too that we use.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Slack is good.
That's great. Yeah, I think like the phrase that always resonates to me is praise in public and criticize in private.
Yeah,
So if you're able to do that, then people see you care about them rather than just trying to like chew them out in front of their peers. Like nobody
absolutely.
nobody likes that. You may get a little bit of performance boost, in the short run, but long term, you're just going to erode that relationship
Yeah,
like
and they're
super
not going to
quick.
go above and beyond for you at any point. They're
No.
like, screw this guy. But also,
Yeah.
that's not my personality either. It's like
Right.
I care about people, and that's one thing for me. So it means a lot to me when I can see what we do for these people and the
Hmm.
skills that we can teach these young kids when they come in 18,
Hmm.
19, and
Yep.
and without college degrees or anything. But we also teach them more than just how to be an electrician. I mean, we have a brand uphold, and we teach them how to build their character and how they should conduct themselves in society
Hmm.
objectively. How I think good people should conduct themselves, but yeah.
Sure.
So we're building people and not just electricians. Or so we like to give them skills that even sometimes they take their skills and they go to other companies, but we still
Mhm.
try to keep that relationship and there's no hard feelings there. We try to keep you on
Yeah.
board. Sometimes we can't, and sometimes the stars on the line. So, but we're still putting
Yeah.
our all into our employees and trying to teach them skills that they can carry for the rest of their life.
Yeah, and I think like long term, you are investing in your employees just like you're investing in all kinds of other things, and you hope that they stick around for really long. And if they end up going, that's okay. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, I'm training my own competition. What am I doing?" It's like don't go into it thinking that. You can't act that way, because if you act that way, it's going to happen.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm thinking there's more than enough. I mean, I think there's an abundance of everything. So
Totally.
I don't think like that.
Yeah. No, there definitely is. And by the way, if people do end up leaving your business and they go to another place, if you treated them well, they may either A, return one day, or B, you might start creating alliances with other companies that normally people be like, well, that's your competition. If there's ever a big job and then all of a sudden they need to sub out a bunch of work. Well, guess what? They're going to call their buddies who they used to work with. Hey, let's sub you out, which happens a ton, especially in the commercial side. I think residential a little bit less, unless you're doing into the new construction side of things. But for sure, commercial, light commercial, industrial, absolutely, that's going to happen.
No, for sure. And just to piggyback off that is that we've had employees leave and come back because they're like, oh, it wasn't brighter the grass wasn't greener on the other side. And then also to piggyback off the other point is we work with our competitors. I got a lot of friends that have electrical companies that actually one's direct competition, but we have a best practices group, and it's the better man wins. Yeah. So it's not.
Yeah.
I like to step on the throat of my competition. I'm very competitive, and but I like to do it ethically, and I'm not going behind there. You just do it ethically. If you're a better company, you leave it up to the customer of who they want to hire. So.
That's right. And look, you never know who's going to win a really big RFP. And, if they're going to sub out and they get some great rates and you've got some extra labor hours, why not help them out? Keep your guys busy. You might as well, or give your chance to grow,
Yeah, absolutely. And there's not enough service people to go around or tradesmen to go around right now. So
there's not. I think it'll forever be that way. And unfortunately too. Tell me a little bit about, you've been using Housecall Pro, you left, came back. Ease of use was one of the big reasons, or one of the things that you kind of mentioned. What do you think is the most underrated Housecall Pro feature where people aren't talking about it enough, but now as an almost $2.5 million a year company, this is underrated. Maybe Housecall Pro's marketing team needs to be talking about it more, but what do you know that other people maybe don't know?
So there's a couple. There's one that I really like, but in this question is what I think is underrated is the proposal tool. I really, so that's a great, I think most companies aren't even giving options. So the fact that you can give options in Housecall Pro, I think everyone should be taking advantage of that. I mean, it's just undeniably a great tool that you need to be presenting to every customer on site. And it makes it really nice and neat. I have an iPad right here, which we use. Show option one for the customer, really neat, nice. You can put pictures in there, price, and then if you're using WiseTech, you can break down the payment for the monthly, which is just really nice and neat. And then they can sit there, look at it, click into each option. So I really like the proposal tool. It's very easy to use, and I'm very big in the options because when you give customers ultimatums, it usually doesn't work out. And I'm also very into closing the deal or presenting the sale right there at the kitchen table or whatever it may be. And that's later. That's just
do it real time. Do you have templates set up and your price book set up so it makes that part easy? Or how long does it take you to, let's say we're at the kitchen table, you come to my house and I'm like, hey, I need a new panel. How long does it take you to bust out a multi-option presentation on our sales proposal tool?
We have a whole service system that we go through. But to answer that question, we usually tell the customer, hey, all right, now that I have all this information, we ask them, what questions do you have for me? None. Okay. Then I'm going to run to my truck real quick. Give me 10, 15 minutes, depending on the project, but usually 10, 15 minutes, we can have 4 to 6 options created for you, sitting down with you, ready to go.
Nice. And then right there on the spot, rather than I'll send them to you later. So, you can decide later and, you go back in.
Absolutely. And like you were saying, we do have templates. We've dabbled with Profit Rhino. And it's nice, but it takes a lot of back end work to get it perfect for your company. So we kind of got a different system that we use, but it's implemented into Housecall Pro, so it's nice. That's just GFI replacement, bam, hit it, it's in there. So it makes it really easy. And you can even talk to it, so you don't have to sit there and type, hey, make this option, one GFI replacement, another grounding issue, and just makes it quick, easy, and efficient.
Totally. Yeah. One of the fun things we've got coming up here is the ability to just use our voice AI, and just with a voice, you can just put the entire summary of work. You just say it, and then boom, it'll just create it
Yeah.
for you automatically, all the
Yeah,
things.
great. And I used to sit there and type it all the time, even though I had the voice, but since I started using it, I never looked back.
Yeah. It's too easy.
And it's so good now. Like before, it would like kind of mess things up and not get them. Now it's like perfect.
Yeah. And you don't have as many like misspellings, or you have to like go delete, back, redo it. It's hard. What's the other underrated feature that maybe isn't as obvious that you're kind of
so the other one that I really like is Housecall Pro Assist. So that's a huge tool for us as a smaller company, that's because you have to hire that out, but we don't have a huge call center that can take all these calls. Yeah. We got one guy in here that's kind of dealing with permits and taking calls. So that AI assist kind of just makes us like a big company, because we can always take calls, and it comes right to my phone, my Housecall Pro app. It's like, I actually got one right now that we missed a call. So it takes all the notes, everything you need, and just gives it right in your app. And that way I can see what the customer wants, and then I can either send it to our office guy, hey, give this customer a call back, or right there in the app, you can send a message, and it gives you direct communication with the customer.
That's right.
It's just a great tool. I mean, it's awesome, and it's reasonably priced, because the price to hire a new CSR and all this is pretty.
Yeah, the cost of a human is going to be a lot, especially if you have them working 24/7, because you need 3 8-hour shifts, and then before you got to be like a massive company to even. I mean, I don't even know that. I don't even think it's worth it, in my opinion, even if you're big enough. It doesn't make sense.
So that assist really just makes us pretty robust, and it's a great tool that I was like, well, I wish we would have been using this the whole time.
Well, speaking of that, okay, besides Housecall Pro Assist, is there any other feature or any other thing inside of Housecall Pro that you're like, oh man, I wish we would have been doing that from the start, that you should have been doing? Yeah,
so I'll give that to anyone that's starting with Housecall Pro. You want to make sure that you're closing your jobs out, and you're making sure they're staying categorized. Because it can get overwhelming that you don't put it in like unscheduled. You'll have like 1 million unscheduled customers, and then you can't really get a good insight of for follow-ups or whatever it may be, or collecting payments. So if you keep everything clean and organized from the start, you're going to have a huge leg up, and you're going to be able to be like, all right, well, we gave this guy a proposal. We're going to 3 days ago, he hasn't got back to us, so we're going to move him into. And there's the pipeline that you can use.
Yeah, pipeline.
Yeah, so you can move it through each category, which is great. But if you don't stay on top of it, it can get overwhelming, and everything is messed up, and you got to go back. So if I give anyone any advice, it's just stay on top of it and make sure everything's categorized and up to date.
Yeah, totally. And inside of Housecall Pro, you can effectively add status, right? And then also within the job itself, you can do on my way, job finished, job paid, and all that. So like hit all the buttons, because when you hit all the buttons, then you can run the reports. And a lot of people are like, oh, the reports aren't right, or the reports aren't accurate. And it's like, well,
you're not
if you're not giving it the information, it doesn't know. It's only spitting out. It's reflecting back at you like the state of your system. So if you have a hard time, you can absolutely pull all the reports. I tell people all the time, use your job types, use your business units. If you've got multiple business units, use your tags. Because if you're not doing that kind of stuff, you're gonna be like, I don't know how much resi work I did versus commercial. And it's like, that should be pretty easy to figure out.
Absolutely. And that's huge. The reports are huge. KPIs are huge. If you know your KPIs, and you're able to implement change and fix what's not working. If you don't know, I mean, you're kind of blindly, you're never going to really grow. You're going to be stuck. And then also with reports, when you get to a certain size, when you get to about 1-2 million, you're going to start having private equity and other people trying to get into your business, knocking on your door. If you don't have proper financials or proper reports, they're going to really take advantage of you.
Totally.
If you can have those reports squared away and good to go, you're going to get a lot of bang for your buck. And they're like, this guy knows what he's doing. He has his numbers squared away, and he's not just some stupid electrician or stupid plumber that we can get over on.
Right. Totally. Yeah. And when you know your numbers too, you're not going to get, if you're looking to sell one day, you're not going to lose out on some multiple just because you don't know your own numbers, right? And someone else is like, oh yeah, we'll buy this for this low multiple and then flip it for that multiple, and then Yeah. You don't want that to happen.
And also just make a change in the company within. If you're not giving them enough options, or you're not closing your average job. So those are all numbers that you can use and implement change and ultimately be better and get that bottom line bumped up.
Yeah, I think for definitely a lot of electricians too, looking at your average job ticket by job type, by electrician is a big one, because you might have a different system where you have like comfort advisor or purely salespeople, but in most cases, a lot of our pros, the technician themselves is actually the salesperson also, and they're directly in charge of their ticket size. And one of the things that Robert mentioned clearly is like options is one way to increase ticket size, but also just to offer the customer more options so they feel like they're the one in control versus being told this is what you need. It's like, no, here's 3 things. What do you think, Robert? What do you want? And then they'll pick one. It's way easier to get someone to say yes to that. But anyways, running that report on an employee level, now you can go like, well, look at here's the leaderboard. Here's where everyone's at. And people will naturally compete because no one wants to be on the bottom. And so that leaderboard constantly just keeps moving up and up and up because no one wants to be on the bottom. So if you're not doing that, that's such an easy way to get your employees engaged with the business, and
that makes it fun.
Totally. And then if you have to have hard conversations with employees too, then you're talking about numbers. You're not talking about feelings or like things that are subjective. It's like, here's objectively where you're at within everyone else. What can I do to help you, Robert? Where do you feel like things are not going right? And it's a much easier conversation to have than be like, well, I think you're not doing the best, and I think the other guys are doing a little better, but like, I'm going to pick on you. And then it's like, what? What can I improve? I don't know.
And the piggyback off of that is you can identify exactly where your tech's going wrong. So you'll see like, hey, he's only given 3 options. This tech, like last week, he was given 6. So you can say, why'd you stop giving so many options? So when you give 6 options, you're closing way higher. Or say your average ticket's down and you're not closing. So we can kind of really get into the nitty and gritty and get straight to the source of what's causing their numbers to be down and then fix it quickly.
Yeah, definitely. So one thing that I can see kind of from your background, but like you seem like a guy that's always learning, and clearly you're learning from failures, and you learned from some pretty big failures. But you're also pretty advanced in terms of just getting out there and trying to educate yourself. What is something that you feel like other people maybe a little earlier in their career, maybe a little bit earlier in their business building? Are there any books or podcasts or mentors or people or Facebook groups that you were like, man, they should totally be in this thing, especially if they're an electrician? Yeah,
for sure. So there's lots of books that you can read. I think the number one book that anyone should read if they're in the home service business or any business in general is the E-Myth Revised, Michael Gerber. I mean, that's teaching you how to get off the tools, and instead of working in the business, you're working on the business. So that's number one book that every entrepreneur should read. It kind of just opens up your mind a little bit. Because I was the same way when I first started, like, no one's going to do the work as good as me. And if I'm not doing it, it's not going to get done right. And I never wanted to delegate. I never want to trust anyone. But you're never going to grow if you do that. And that's fine. If you want to just be a one-man show, that's to all power to you. But if you want to grow, you got to kind of delegate and start being an overseer and start trusting people more, and you have to get systems and processes in place. So that's another book is a 7-Power Contractor by Al Levy. He breaks down a lot on how to run a business and implement systems and processes and get manuals for every single process, so that it's not just when you don't show up for work for a week, you can kind of step back from the business and it can operate and it can run without you. If the business, you don't show up for a couple of days, the business crumbles, you're not really running a business. It's not a business. It's just you. So and then podcasts, I don't even listen to the radio anymore just because or music. Maybe once in a while. It's always podcasts, just trying to learn and just keeps my.
What's your favorite podcast?
I like Tommy Mello, home Millionaire, but he also just started a new one, the Millionaire. I forgot what it's called, but and then I like listening to Alex Ramosi. He's a great guy to listen to. I listen to Brad Lee. He's got some cool people on there that you can learn from. And then recently I've been listening to Chris Lee. Me and him actually just created a pretty good relationship together. And he runs Next Level Pros, so we might even start partnering on some things soon. But he's also got a lot of knowledge in the business. He's been in the trades and built and sold companies. So
Yep.
It's just, you always got to be learning. You got to want it. And so books is, I've always been kind of like I think readers are leaders. So I've always read books. And podcasts are nice because you can't read in the car. So nice to get that audio.
Yeah, listen.
Yeah, exactly. And then these are literally people, you got multi-millionaires telling you what you need to do, where they went wrong, so you don't have to go through the same failures that they did. So, I mean, it's just like, it's kind of just unbelievable that we have all this knowledge at the click of a button, and the amount of people that don't utilize it or take advantage of it is crazy to me.
Yeah, and like, Robert said it, there's different mediums. So if you don't like reading, you can listen to, all the Audible versions of them. You want to do it that way, right? But then, the podcasts are pretty fun because they're a little more contemporary when it comes in terms of time. E-Myth was, I don't know, I think it was the late 90s was the first version of it. And then I think the contractor version came out like mid 2000s. And then there's the HVAC version of it too, if you're in the HVAC, which came out in I think the late or the early 2010s, I think. But anyways, those books are always a little bit, but like the things you can learn are great. Even, Al Levi's book too, the 7 powers or whatever, and replacing every single role, replace yourself one role at a time. And like, just those things they're just classic things that doesn't have to be contemporary, right? That will always be true. But I think the mix you have is really good, because you can have both the contemporary views, people still in the business operating, as well as people that have done it and just extracted the basics. So I think having that mix is super good.
And then there's just so much now. There's so much information out there. It's really specific, but there's also other books I like the Blue Ocean Strategy that just kind of teaches you marketing and how to get like business mindset. I mean, there's a book that I really like. It's What They Don't Teach You at Harvard Business School. So there's a lot of books out there that's just, you could gobble it up. And if you can, the main thing is you got to execute. So you can have all the knowledge in the world. If you don't execute and apply it, it pretty much means nothing. And,
Totally.
You're going to go out, you're going to try to apply it, you're going to fail, but just keep getting up and keep going. And eventually, if you're doing things right, if you're like ethical, if you're doing things wrong, you're trying to be unethical, it's never going to work out for you. But if you're ethical and you really want it and you're a good person, you're going to make it.
Definitely. Tell me, what's one thing you would tell baby Robert, maybe just coming out of Marine Corps, because you probably would have made that decision anyway. So like coming out, what would you tell him? You go travel back in time, take the DeLorean, use the flux capacitor. What would you say, Robert?
That's an easy one. It would be, you need to surround yourself with people that are doing better than you. You need to put yourself in the right circles and put yourself in the right rooms. My younger years, I was always like kind of doing better than my peer group and stuff, but I was in, just kind of just doing stupid, hanging out with bad people, not bad people, but just people that had no ambition, that were kind of plateaued. And not to talk bad about anyone, but it's, if I wanted more in life. So if you want more in life, you need to put yourself in the right rooms and around people that know more than you, that are doing better than you, and then, ask them for help. So, if you do that, you're going to see like a growth jump. It's crazy. Once you start surrounding yourself with the right people, where you can go, it's crazy.
Definitely. So many good golden nuggets in this episode today, Robert. Thank you so much for sharing all your insights. That was definitely a pleasure getting to hear some of those. For those of you that happen to be listening, if you're interested in Housecall Pro, or you're using the service time and feel like you're getting overcharged or it's too complicated, you can always go to housecallpro.com/podcast deal to get a deal. Or you can text me directly. People are like, what? You put your cell phone number out there? It's 858-215-1512, and I'll connect you with the right person. So we have 50,000 home service pros using our platform every single day, doing tens of billions of dollars in revenue every single year, doing hundreds of millions of jobs. So anyways, we're a pretty big platform, and we probably are a good fit if you're in the home services space. And then we have episodes like this every single week where we get to interview great super pros that are using Housecall Pro doing amazing things. So if you're looking for more tips in your trades or other trades as well, tune in next week. Once again, Robert, thank you for coming on the show, and we will see you all next week.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks a lot, Roland.
Thanks, Robert.
The Superpro podcast is brought to you by Housecall Pro, the leading platform for the home service industry. Housecall Pro streamlines your workflows and simplifies everything from scheduling and dispatching to communication and billing. Unlock the full potential of your home service business with Housecall Pro. Work smarter and more efficiently with streamlined workflows and detailed analytics. Win more business and serve your customers well, every single time. Join more than 40,000 home service pros who have already revolutionized their businesses. Work smarter with streamlined workflows, get organized with centralized information, and scale your business your way. Learn more at housecallpro.com.